Today I'm doing a podcast interview on religion and the effects it has on risk-taking behavior, peer pressure, and self-esteem. Now this here, you can turn the camera. This here is my boy Sola, I've known him for the last 10 or so years. He attends, we both go to the same church, he attends my church. He's 16 years old. He goes to Valley Stream High School. He's a sophomore. He's on the basketball team. So obviously he's into basketball. He also plays football. He runs track. So he's very much into sports. He loves watching. He's a giant fan, Nick fan. He loves watching sports as well. Video games is another big hobby of his. 2K, GTA, Madden. FIFA, he's into those. Also, he sings in the choir in his church. He's also in the community service. He participates with that with the church as well. His mom is a deacon in the church, and his brother is also involved in church as well. What else? Anything you'd like to add or anything?
Nah, you pretty much got it right.
All right, cool,
Yeah.
cool. All right, so let's start off with some questions. Now, obviously, I want to touch bases with 3 theories that we've learned in class. 3 of them I'm touching on is risk-taking behavior, self-esteem, and peer pressure. So I have 6 or so questions, and they're going to be all involved with that. All right. Let's start off. Now, do you consider yourself religious?
Yeah, I pretty much consider myself religious. You know, I go to church on every Saturday. I pray at home with my parents at nights and mornings. You know, I try to live my life, you know, based on the teachings of what I learned in church. So, you know, yeah, I do consider myself religious.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, we're Seventh-day Adventists.
Yeah.
Just to throw that in there. Great. Are your friends religious?
No, most of my friends are not even Seventh-day Adventists. Most of them are either non-religious or like Catholics, but yeah, they don't really follow their religion as much because, you know, sometimes they just tell me they follow what their parents are and sometimes they don't even abide by the guidelines based on in their religion. So.
Okay. Do you go by? Are you the same?
Nah. I go by a guideline. I go by the guidelines in my religion. So.
Right. Does your religious affiliation determine what cliques you form or join? Like, for example, like the friends you keep, like your small circle. Your circle.
Not necessarily. I would say most of my friends. Yeah, since like I said before, most of my friends aren't Seventh-day Adventists, so I don't really think about religion when I'm making friends. You know, I just try to try to be friends with everyone as possible. You know, make new friends here, cliques. It doesn't really
matter.
It's not really a big factor.
Religion is not a big factor.
Yeah,
so
definitely not.
Basically, people you get along with, positive. You know.
Yeah. I try to keep the negativity out of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my circle of friendship.
All right. Now, have your peers? Well, wait. First of all, does your peers know or your friends know that you're a Seventh-day Adventist?
Yeah, I try to make sure they know, especially when they ask, because when my friends ask me to do things on Saturdays, when I know I'm not able to because I go to church, I let them know that I'm Seventh-day Adventist and I go to church then, so I can't do so and so until really after sunset or stuff.
Does you being an Adventist affect because you're into sports, and I know that sports a lot of the times falls on Saturdays or a day of worship. Does that play a role?
Yeah, that definitely played a role, especially in football, because in football, a lot of the games are on Saturdays, Friday nights. It was tough for me to abide by that ruling and play games on Fridays on the Saturdays, early in the morning. So it was tough for me to want to join. So that actually played a factor in me not joining the football team. So I stayed away from that, even though I was asked by the coaches.
All right, that's good. All right. So since your parents and your friends, since your parents and your friends know you're Adventist, have they ever made harsh evaluations or slight sarcasms about your religious faith?
Yes, definitely a lot. I've heard throughout the years, I've heard so many jokes about being my religion. My friends make fun of me saying that I go to church at 8 in the morning and I don't come back on Saturday until like 9 o'clock at night, which is not true. My church is not that long.
Right.
I tend to get home probably about 1 something, unless I have something to do, go back and do. But I've heard so many jokes about my religion. It's just way too many to even list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, how does it make you feel?
I don't really have a problem with it because I know they're just joking. I don't really take it to heart. It's because I know they're not even serious, really. They just make the joke because it's just I guess to get a laugh. Yeah, to get it right. Just because they can. It doesn't really bother me much. Yeah.
Okay. Now, we're gonna delve into this. Have you been involved in any kind of risky behavior, such as premarital sex, drinking, because you're not 18, you're not 21 yet, right. So drinking, drugs, driving, risky driving habits like speeding, stuff like that.
Texting while driving.
Yeah. Stuff like that. So have you been involved in any kind of risky behavior?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I would really call premarital sex risky behavior, but I mean, as with every, I guess people my age, I assume that we all evolve some sort of risky behavior. I've texted and used the phone on the road while driving before. I know it's not good, and I should try to stop that, but right. Luckily, I've not been to anything major accidents or major damage, and I'm trying to stop that, doing that. I've been also, I might have drunk a few times before too, so, at parties and stuff, so, yeah, I've been involved in a few risky behavior, sometimes even offered a little weed here and there, I don't know, can't really say whether I've tried it or not, but yeah.
Okay. Anything with the opposite sex in terms of, ever, you know what I'm saying?
Well, protection was used, that's all I can say.
Well, that's good. Okay. Now, with these, with what you mentioned to me, were any of them due to peer pressure?
Yeah, definitely. Especially when they involve alcohol and drugs. People. I've had people come up to me and say, "Yo, you've tried this. Yo, you can't be the only one at this party not doing this stuff. So and so." And that definitely had an effect on me wanting to do this stuff and actually doing it. So, yeah, so I do believe peer pressure did have an effect. I actually did partake in some of that stuff just because, friends kept bothering me about it and kept making, basically kind of, forced me to do it. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, did your religious faith affect your decision-making process and whether to engage in such risky behavior?
Well, it was definitely something I thought about before, but, sometimes the peer pressure is too strong that it just sometimes what you learn, what you taught in church and all this, with your religion, it just goes in one ear out the other. You know, when you're partaking, when you're with your friends sometimes, and just do whatever your friends are doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when you did do these things, did you feel like you were going against yourself, your religion, or did you feel bad inside because of your religious affiliation, because of your faith?
Yeah, kind of. Well, I thought about it afterwards, after doing it, like after you take a time. I took some time to consider what I actually just did. Like maybe when I'm home after the event or whatever, I actually thought about it as like, wow, I can't believe I actually did this. You know, I don't think it's something that I should be keep doing consistently. So I try to like avoid situations that involve, you know, friends peer pressuring me to do these things, so I can stay true to myself. You know what I believe and what I feel is the right thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you had to cut off like certain friends because of your religion, or because they didn't like identify with you as much, or did you feel that they were having you to waver from your faith?
No, not. I wouldn't say I had to yet, but I mean everything is a possibility. If I keep feeling pressure to do something that my friends know I don't want to do, or I'm not really into, but yet they keep badgering me about it, keep bothering me about it, keep like trying to coerce me to do it, then I feel like I might have to do what I feel is best for me, to keep up my faith. Yes. And what I think is right. So I guess I will cut those off if that time comes.
If the time comes.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel that you being a Christian is holding you back from anything? From you see what your other friends and peers do, in terms of their lifestyle. Do you feel that your religion is holding you back from living the lifestyle that you want to live?
Sometimes I feel like I feel deep down inside that it is kind of holding me back, because like I said with the whole football situation, like I really love to play football. Really would have loved to play in school, but you know I don't feel like it's like the right thing for me to do. So I feel like, and it also could hold me back from potentially, getting a scholarship in that sport. So I could play for school, something like that.
Is that an aspiration of yours?
Yeah, it is, because school is so much money. Trying to actually make it easy on my parents to pay for it, whatever. So, and also, just to be able to hang out with my friends, because when they're all partaking in these activities, and I'm just on the side not doing it or whatever, it's just kind of tough and hard, because especially when those are like your really close friends,
right.
So you won't have that much in common to them. So sometimes I do feel like it is holding me back, but I understand at the end of the day, I feel like it's the right thing to follow, and I want to continue to follow it and uphold it, and stay true to myself.
Okay. Are your parents, are they strict about you attending church?
Yeah, they are. Well, I think they are, because when I was much younger, I wouldn't really think about it, because when you're young, you just go with your parents everywhere. So they brought me to church along, got in that consistency of going to church every Saturday and stuff. Learning about whatever you learn about, and so it just kind of embedded in me, like that. That I go to church on Saturdays and worship it. So now I'm at the older age, I'm able to, kind of make more decisions on my own. And I stay with it and keep going to church, because because I actually like it. I like what we learn about. I know it's like the right, so
So your parents don't force
they
you.
not anymore. Yeah,
Not anymore.
not anymore. Yeah, it's all on my own free
you.
will now.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep going to church.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever questioned your faith because of all these
other
elements around you?
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely question it sometimes, but because there's especially with all these other religions and my friends being either these Catholic, Muslim, all these other religions, you question whether to see if you're really truly following the right thing, but I guess I do believe that I am. I'm not trying to discredit anybody else's, but I really believe that this is the right thing for me to follow in order to,
Yeah, for your personal.
Yeah, for personally, yeah.
Okay. So with all this being said, how confident do you feel about being yourself?
I feel very confident with being myself. I try to act like how I normally act, whether I'm at school, home, church, outside, just outside in the public, I try to be myself, stay true to myself, very confident in what I'm able to, and in terms of sports, I'm very confident in what I can bring to the table, and I'm comfortable with how I look, how tall I am. Don't really have an issue with my self-esteem there. So
and your religion.
Yeah, and I'm confident with my religion. Yeah.
Okay. And my final question will be this: being of your religious faith, what do you struggle with the most? Is it because you're an adolescent, and all adolescents going to participate in risky behavior, any kind of degree of risky behavior. So with that being said, do you struggle most with that, or do you struggle most with peer acceptance, or do you struggle more with just in general self-esteem?
Yeah. Well, I know for a fact that I don't really struggle with self-esteem like that. That is that's definitely my least concern. But peer pressure and peer acceptance and taking risks, that's what I more struggle with. So, and I would possibly say that, peer acceptance probably is the worst. And I believe it's the worst I struggle with. And I believe it's really the most concerning thing around my age group, adolescents. Yeah. So, I mean, it's hard. It's really hard to, see people do things, have, especially when they're your friends, have them tell you, oh, this is cool, this is fun to do, you should try this, it'll make you cooler, all that stuff. It's really hard to just ignore that and just stay doing whatever, just not do it, It's
staying faithful.
Yeah, it's faithful to myself. Yeah, it's really hard but it's something I struggle with. But I try to consistently stay within myself and try to avoid falling for that peer pressure.
Right. Well, that concludes it. So basically, as an adolescent, they all struggle with technically risky behaviors, peer pressure, self-esteem. And those are things I really want to hit on because that's what all teens yourself go through. It's just I just want to see the added element of religion and see how if that affects anything that you do in terms of those three things.
Yeah.
So thanks again for doing this with me, doing this topic with me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I appreciate it. And,
no problem. Anytime, man. Known you for so long,
Right.
Gotta help a friend out.
Great. All right, thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Bam. So, basically, what I've gathered from this podcast is a teenager is going to be a teenager. But when a teenager has to deal with the added element of religion, it could be a struggle. And to say that, not that he's not religious or it's just that it's just hard to do to have friends who are not of your faith and do things uh, not of your faith. All right. So what I've gathered from this interview, and what I hope my viewers gathered was that a teenager is gonna be a teenager. Risky behavior, peer pressure, self-esteem all have a role in that. But when it comes, well, religious, obviously, when it comes in this case, you can see some of the struggles that it had on him and on Sola and him living his life. But what I also gathered was I probably because of his religion, the self confidence that he had in himself, uh, self esteem wasn't an issue for him, especially when it came to his religion. What seemed he struggled with was with his peers, because most of them, as I asked earlier, uh, about most of them were not even Adventist, or probably not even religious at all. So having to struggle to fit in with them and still remain faithful was a bit of a struggle. And also risk taking, that's just a natural part of adolescence. But you could see the struggle with that with religion. But overall, religion definitely played a role in his development as an adolescent.